just completed the first step of the KonMari method, clothing. This was everything that didn't spark joy. This is now my entire wardrobe other than a few t-shirts, exercise gear, socks and underwear and drawers, and I am so stoked about it. Hi, I'm Molly and I like to make videos about sustainable and ethical fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. Today I will be doing a sort of buying year in review and going back through the things that I bought in 2018 that maybe weren't the best decision. 2018 in particular, I was the most focused and true to my aims of, buying only secondhand, sustainable, ethical, and I think it's good to kind of do these types of years in review to reflect on how you did and how you can do better and learn from maybe decisions that weren't the best decision as I go along for the future. And I also think it's good to point out that I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, even though I have this persona on the internet that I'm always this perfectly sustainable and ethically fashion-minded person. I do slip up and I do make mistakes, but those are all learning opportunities, and I can look and see and reflect on those choices I made and recognize how those didn't really fit into the person I am, they weren't integrity to who I want to be, and then use that learning experience for the future as I make purchasing decisions going forward. So I have the first, learning experience sitting right next to me, so I'll do that first. And this is cheap jewelry. So I bought these earrings, and I actually bought them from a vintage store, but they are, I don't know what the material is, but they've all kind of turned color. They have that weird, like, cheap jewelry smell, like the stuff that you buy at, like, Forever 21, like, what that kind of metal smells like, if you know what I mean. And they're all just discolored, and I knew at the time, like, in retrospect, these were $5 each, so of course, they weren't going to be the best quality. Even though I bought them from a vintage store, this ended up being a really wasteful purchase because they all just look kind of gnarly. For lack of a better term, and how I can do better is that in the future I will hopefully buy like one pair of earrings, from a local boutique, something that was handmade, or like one pair of vintage gold earrings instead of just a kind of gross amount that I don't need of cheap things. And if you saw my Gold Mine Vintage birthday video, these were the gold earrings that I got in that video. The silver ones are totally fine, still wearable, still using them, but these just turned and was not a good decision. The next thing to reflect on is ill-fitting thrift store and vintage jeans. Jeans are such a weird thing to find. I think it's an unrealistic beauty standard for women. Jeans are so poorly fitted to actual body types. I think it's the pressure of having a really tiny waist and a nice curvy behind, and jeans have been made that way for a long time. Buying vintage women's jeans, they're very much like that, and they're still like that, and very few people's bodies are actually like that. So when shopping and I would find a pair of jeans that like kind of fit, I would get them because my rationale was, I don't know if this will ever happen again. I don't know if I'll ever find a pair of jeans that fit close to this well again, because it is such a rare occurrence. I actually don't have any of those to show because I've given them all away already. They just weren't working out. They didn't spark joy, to use Marie Kondo's term. And yeah, I guess it takes it's gonna be a long process. It takes a while. I do now have 2 pairs of jeans that I love. They fit me perfectly. They're both vintage and they're both actually men's cuts, which I find are just like friendlier and nicer to wear, and they still look good in the booty. So it's just a longer process. You're not going to get that instant gratification, but that's why we love thrifting and vintage anyway, because it's the thrill of the hunt, the long-term digging and looking, and then you find something really special. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. And then that brings me to my next point, which is buying jeans online. It should go without saying that if jeans are already so hard to fit to you, then there's no way to possibly know what they're going to be like buying them online. So I've kind of set a rule for myself that I will not buy pants online. The exception is if you've like tried on that exact fit and cut, you know, already, and you know that that works for you, then, I mean, but even with that, brands change. They'll have like the same pair of jeans that'll have the same name, but the fit will be different. I've experienced that with like Lucky brand. So no more jeans online for me. My next point is thrift store shoes. Shoes is another thing that I'm really picky with. I have kind of weird feet. I have like bunions from years of dance and wearing ridiculous heels, and so but I have very small feet, and it's hard to find something that fits all of those criteria. So much like with jeans, when I would find a pair of shoes that were like almost there, I would get them. And like with the jeans, I've gotten rid of most of them. I have 2 pairs of shoes that I did buy secondhand now. One pair I paid to have I brought them to a cobbler, and because they needed some repairs, but now they're perfect and I love them and they're one of my favorite pairs. And then a pair of like dressy boots, and those are the only 2 that I still have. So much like with the jeans, with shoes for me, it's a lengthy process to find great ones that I'm gonna absolutely love, that are gonna be really comfortable, and I'm just gonna have to keep trying and not settling. And that also brings me to buying shoes online. That has never worked out to me. Every single pair of shoes I've bought online, with the exception of my Veja shoes. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they're a sustainable sneaker company, and those are great. Every other pair of shoes that I've bought online from Depop or Poshmark, I have either put up for sale or given away. The sizing is just crazy with shoes. Like, I'm usually 6.5, but I have received a few pairs of 6.5s that are just like crazy big on me, and so it's way too hard to tell. So no more shoes online, unless of course I have tried the pair of shoes on in the store or elsewhere and then know what size and fit works for me. Okay, I'm going to go over some embarrassing, to me, decisions that I made this year as far as subscription services and yeah, just buying things that I knew was out of integrity to buy when I bought them, but I still did anyway. So the first of which, there is this online store that has a very kind of like cool bratty vibe that I liked, and some YouTubers at the time were talking about it a lot, and I had 2 things from that store in my cart. I was, you know, influenced by the societal pressure, I suppose. And I remember just like thinking about that, those items, and like weighing it out in my mind, wondering whether or not to get it over and over again, and then I finally gave in and got it, and that was a bad decision. I think with any kind of clothing purchase, if I really have, or like makeup, have to hem and haw over it, then it's probably not going to work out. Those gray areas, I think it has to be a heck yes or a no, basically. And I ordered, like, you know those like fuzzy black slides that were really in, where like the part that the toe cover is like fluffy, and they're kind of like pool shoes-esque. I got those from this brand, and I don't want to say who the brand is because I don't want people to shop with them, so I don't want to, even though I'm like saying negative things about them, I think it still is giving them like publicity and stuff. But anyway, the fuzziness on the slides just like got all over my apartment like the second I took them out of the box, and they're just really cheaply made. So that was a really poor decision. And then the other thing I got from them is this top, and it's a really cute top. It's kind of annoying because people are always commenting on it when I'm out and about in public, and it just gets kind of weird, but this top doesn't spark joy for me. I don't think I like the color on me, and it reminds me of that bad purchase and that I supported a fast fashion brand when I like am so against that, so this one's a no for me. The next one I want to go over is that I signed up for the Ipsy subscription service. You get like a little bag of different makeup items once a month, and it's like $10. One of my friends had a coupon where like if I signed up, she got a discount and I got a discount too or something, so I did that. I knew that it was wrong at the time, but I wanted free makeup and to try more makeup, and I like makeup, but it was so wasteful. So many of the products are things that I would never use, and like just getting duplicates of products like multiple highlighters, multiple blushes, that I really only need one of each of those things at a time. So yeah, those both were just, I knew that they were bad choices and I made them anyway. And again, it's with anything that you have to kind of hem and haw over and is in a gray area, and the KonMari method of tidying up kind of covers this too, that the gray area things have to be no's, because if you really need this thing in your life, you really love it, it's really gonna do you service, then it's gonna be like a definite yes in your heart. Not to get a little out there, but I think I have one more. I also signed up for Curology, which is a skincare, it's like you have an online dermatologist, they prescribe you this thing to put on your skin. That was another wasteful thing because I received the prescriptions and I just like never felt intuitively like it was a good thing to put on my skin, and I don't know if that was just all in my head or if it really was something that I was reading into, but I try to treat my hair and skin pretty intuitively to figure out like what's going to work out and what's going to be good for me, and that I just never felt using it would be good, and I just kind of like let the subscription go on and received like 3 or 4 bottles full of product that I wasn't using, and those just had to be thrown away, and they are like prescription strength skincare, and who knows what that does to the environment. So that's my kind of year in review, my reflecting on the purchasing decisions that I want to learn from and do better from in the new year. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I want to be more, I don't know, I want to acknowledge more of the kind of, I just want to be more real, honestly, with my channel and with my social media presence, and there's just so much pressure on Instagram and stuff that you have to have everything figured out, that like exactly what you say has to be how you always live your life, or else, and it's just not like that. And I think with a lot of efforts like this, like veganism, being more sustainably focused, there's a lot of shade thrown at people that aren't perfect, and that prevents people from even trying. I know with veganism, it's like there's so much pressure to be perfect, otherwise my other vegan friends are gonna look down on me. And we just need to be more accepting and kind of like introduce people to the journey softly and gently, and if if you're just more conscious about the decisions you're making and kind of recognize the impact your money has and make your decisions based on that, you're doing all right in my mind. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.